Okay. I'm going to tune up. I've been practicing a lot today because I'm gonna record the Bonnie Lass of Bonaccord, which is a beautiful Scott Skinner tune, and I've been kind of obsessed with it. And I spent the day yesterday. Yesterday I had to take Jennifer's tuba, go get Jennifer's tuba at the repair place in the East End. So I listened to all different versions of the Bonnie Lass Bonaccord all the way out there and back, and it was great. It was but I have to say, so I listened to Ron Ganella, who is a famous Scottish fiddle player, and it was on YouTube, and he was in the full kilt regalia, which was pretty wild. And it was really good. I wouldn't put it as my favorite, but I would put it as my second favorite. And I strongly recommend it on YouTube, Ron Ganella. Also, this guy, Paul Anderson from Scotland, did a really great version. And then I listened to several more. I have to say Sandy McIntyre's was not that good. Poor Sandy. He was kind of, he was struggling. But my absolute favorite version was Jimmy Shand, the Scottish accordion player. Jeez, it was just great. Like, he had such nice emotion to the playing, and then when he went to the minor part, it was just like your best friend died. It was just great. So anyway, but the thing is that I want to do it with all the shifting that's involved, because half of it, even though it's in the regular range of first position, you're supposed to play it in third position on the lower strings, which I don't do a lot of. So I was spending the day today trying to strengthen my third position playing. And so it was really good. It's kind of meditative, you know, you're trying to listen to the notes and match them and grab them the first try. That's what I was doing all day. Anyway. All right, so speaking of intonation, let's get going on our scales. And let's see what we're doing. It's the first set that we'll do. Whoops. Okay. Day dee day dee day dee day dee day dee day. Oh yeah, I was thinking about starting with Bovaglis tonight, because we worked on all the tunes last time, but we didn't really play the whole set very much, so we'll start with that tonight. So that means Bovaglis, I think, is in what's that key in there? I can't remember now. Key of A. There you go. So we will do an A major. A really good one. Ooh. I just heard a little ping from my mandolin. Ooh. That's not good. Okay, just going to make sure I'm in tune. Scale and arpeggio. I'm just going to keep letting people in here. All right. Oh, 1, 2, 3, go. arpeggio. Okay, now I did really good, but like I said, I've been at it all day. So we'll give you guys another crack at it here now. Oh, there's more people. Zooming. Okay, one more time. Ready, go. Nailed it again. Love that. I'm sure you guys did too. Absolutely positive. I can tell by the looks on your faces. Okay, now let's pick up the pace a little bit. We'll do a little bit faster, and then we'll do some double stops. So kind of like, let's see. Let's try it like that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, I did good, but in the arpeggio, my C sharp on the A string was a little sharp. Other than that, I did pretty good. I can't give you guys a note report. You'll have to do your own. One more time at that speed. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, not too bad for me. You guys feeling good? Feeling A major-ish and Scottish, therefore Scottish? Okay, let's do some double stops. Okay, so you guys know the pattern? Let's see what we should just do. We'll do 2 bows per set of double stops to begin with. 2 long bows. Listen to that sound. Ready, go. Okay, that's the general idea. I was not perfect, that's for sure. Let's do that one more time. Puts the pressure on a little bit, 2 bows per. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. That was way better for me anyway. My test is always that third there. That one is hard, man, and it's hard to, even when it's in tune, it's kind of like, it doesn't like it. It would rather not be doing it. Anyway, very good practice, of course. And I don't know about you guys, but I am doing a serious kind of trying to move only the end of my finger so that I'm not touching that D string. Okay? Just moving just the end of my finger, which is really hard to do. I don't know why. Anyway, let's go one more time with the double stops, and then we'll get into the tune. The whole set. And gentle with the bow. Ready, go. We'll go with that. Now, let's get into this set. Alright, I'll put it off to the side here so I can scroll through it easy. There we go. Okay. I got to scroll with the space bar with the scroll of my. I scroll with my scroll on the space bar of the keyboard, and then it pops down to the next page for me. Okay, so I think we have twice for the slow air, twice for the march, once for Craigellachie, and twice for each of the reels. Okay, let's have a go at it. Okay. Well, I did pretty good for the most part. You know, a few things here and there. Now, how are the reels? How is the speed of the reels? I tried not to go too fast. Did it work out like kind of for the most part? Or okay, that's good. That's good. Let me check on the speed there and see what that is. So, so I was 85. Okay, and we can do faster with the reels, but I wanted to have a real good practice run of the whole set for a good, a good outcome, good result. And the march was a little slower than I usually play it, but I kind of liked it like that, so we might leave it there. Okay, and how did Craig Ellicky go? I didn't see too much consternation as we went along. It's a hard one though. Okay, now let's see. What can we do with this? Well, let's try just the reels and just a little touch faster. Up to our usual. So like maybe 95. Let's give that a try. I'll put 95 on my metronome, show you guys what it sounds like. Yeah. Okay, we're going to try them like that.
Which one are we starting on?
The reels. So that's Randy McClellan's and Sandy McIntyre's trip to Boston.
Oh, great.
All right. Okay, let's see how we get along at this speed. Give you a good count in. 1, 2, 3. go a notch too far on the metronome? Was it a notch too far? Yeah. Okay, so 90 might be more realistic then for those. So somebody mark that down. Next time we'll try it at 90. 95 is pretty quick, especially that Sandy McIntyre's. Now, I was noticing when I was doing that one, that, and I'm sure I've talked about this before, but I'll mention it again, the up bow. So, okay, for the long notes. And it really makes it easier to get through that string crossing. So instead of playing the first note, the long note on a down, and then going up, which is what's on here, you might try the other way of doing it, which is to play the E on an up bow. And then you're just changing strings really easily. See that? Very quickly and easily. So I think I mentioned that before. Same with the F. And what I do to do that is to slur it from the note before on an up bow. So I slur into those long notes on the A end. Okay, do you want to try doing that? Let's go really slow and see if you can get that under your... And it's the nice thing is that it happens for every phrase. So up bow for the E, up bow for the F, up bow for the E, up bow for the F. Let's try that. Sandy McIntyre's Trip to Boston with the up bows. And I'm going to slur it from the pickup note. Really slow. 1, 2, 3, go. Do it again. Now, is everybody kind of getting that concept? It looked like it. For the most part, you might not get them all, but it does make it a lot easier to get through. Is there any questions about that? We're going to do it again one more time. The up-driven bow. I've heard that called before. The up-driven bow. Driving it up. Let's try it one more time then. Okay. 1, 2, 3, up. 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 Yep, that looks like everybody's kind of got the idea. So we'll work more on that next time, okay? That'll really increase the speed for that one. All right, any questions or problems with the Bovagli set before we move on? Check page 2 of people. I have 2 pages tonight. I used to have everybody on 1 page. Oh, just barely. Okay, well, if there's no questions, we'll move on. And we're going to work on now the, let's have a little break from strass, bass, and reels just for a minute. And let's do the slip jigs, the old slip jigs. Give me a drink of water, and my mind'll never be easy, and the Drover Lads. These all got played except for the Drover Lads. The My Mind'll Never Be Easy and Give Me a Drink of Water got played last night, and it got played after this one here, which I don't know if we've ever done. Great tune. And then somebody started Give Me a Drink of Water, and then I started My Mind'll Never Be Easy. Okay. This should be not hard at all. You should be able to get these just whipping. Not right away. We'll try them medium first. See if we can get them back from whence they came. I got every tab open here on my computer. Okay. Now let's see, what would be a reasonable tempo to play these at? It has been a while. Let's try it like that. Nice and easy, not in a huge hurry. Okay? Plenty of bow for the slip jigs. Okay. 1, 2, 3. that tune. Been a long time since I played it. Been a long time since we played it. Now, how did it all go? It wasn't too fast. Oh, Grant's got the pipes out. That does work on the pipes, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. That'll be awesome. Okay, so I wouldn't mind playing it a little faster unless anybody had any problems. Because I know some of this is new to people, right? Not everybody learned all this stuff by ear when we did. So I want to make sure it's okay with everybody. And we'll speed her up a little bit. Yeah? Okay, let's do it. Shake the old arm out. God. Jennifer got a massage today. Lucky her. She really needs it though. My God, she's doing way too much playing these days. Okay, let's see. So that was, just so we keep track of how fast we're doing things here. I'm thinking it was about... It was about 90. So let's bring her up a little bit. Oh, that's what I see. Okay, let's bring her up a little bit to maybe 100. So, yumpity title tea title tea tappity title tea tidy yumpity title tea title tea tappity title tea da. Just like that, just like I'm singing it expertly. Okay. Okay, let's give it a go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. that was 103. So hopefully it did okay. Everybody feeling okay? At 103? That's good. Right on. That's excellent. And where are we at here? Yeah, Dave. So that's slip jig for two of them, and then regular jig at the end. So I hope you got along okay doing that slip jig rhythm. Yeah, it's a good long practice at it too. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, let's pull out Over the Moor Among the Heather. Been a while for that one. Where is that now? Yeah. This is a great old tune. Over the Moor Among the Heather. All of Volok. This is the one that I was playing in when I was playing at Godrich in the Fiddler lineup. And it was so unbelievably hot that year. Just unbelievably hot. And the air conditioning was not working at the Park House pub for the entire week that we were there. And there was nowhere, and the guy I was staying with was 380 years old. And so he liked the place hot. And so there was no air conditioning there either, and there was no relief anywhere. And I'm standing there playing All de Volok, and my vision closed in, and I kind of felt like I blacked out. And when I opened up my eyes, my hands were still playing All de Volok. And when I got finished, I got a good round of applause, and I was still standing. I can still remember to this day, my God. So I must have like passed out for a second. For a very, very split second. But anyway, horribly hot, my God. I don't do well in the heat. All right, let's give it a go and see what happens. No need to go fast. We'll leave that for the fast part, but that won't be fast either. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Go. think that's what we were going to do. Just the first part, second part, first part to finish. So, and I forgot to mention for people that have never done this before, there's a few surprises there. So yeah, the first part is a slow air, and then the second part you kind of go into almost real time. Now, when we get better at it, we will go into a much quicker. It'd be like a reel. And then, and we will milk that like crazy when we go into that. Okay? Anyway, I've been working you hard, so let's take a little break. So we'll come back in 10 minutes and keep working, okay? 10 minutes, people. Alrighty, get back to it. I was pretty excited that they launched the Artemis rocket tonight. It actually went well. I didn't actually watch the launch, but I heard about it on the radio. It's pretty cool. You wouldn't catch me on something like that, I'm going to tell you that. And I bet you there's no way to have a tune. Now, what's his name? Chris Hadfield, he figured out a way to have a tune with a specially made guitar made by NASA to bring up there. But there was no talk about any kind of specially made fiddle or anything like that. You could take a tin whistle up, I bet you. You would annoy your Artemis companions quite a lot, I bet, if you did. They said today on the news that it's the size of 2 minivans put together. Can you imagine that? 10 days in 2 minivans put together. Sounds like a North Atlantic Drift tour. Okay, so we're going to go back to the old Over the Moor Among the Heather. Here we go. So we're going to do the slow part better and the fast part faster, thereby being better. Let's see how she goes. Okay. A 1, 2, 3, go. Here we go. tune. I'm wondering if we should do the fast part twice. I kind of feel like it goes by a bit too quick. So I'm wondering if we should do the fast part twice, and then we'll end. We won't play the whole slow part to end. We'll just play one A part. So I think that'd be a much better ending. So... and then we can do a big retardando. That's what we'll do. So we're going to do the whole thing twice, and we're going to end with one single A part. Okay, the whole thing twice, ending with a single A part. With a big retardando, which is going to be like a bar and a half. So you can start that retardando a bar and a half before the end of the line. All right? We'll try that next time. I'm glad to have revived that tune. It's such a beautiful old tune. My brother, Sean, always used to play it. All right. We might as well get into it. The Scottish Isles set, which is Miss Rowan Davies, Airthy Castle, Willafjord, Andoin at the Bow, and the big bad Cape Breton visit to Shetland. Now, what was I was learning something about a tune. I can't remember the tune. But the guy who wrote the tune, what was it now? Shoot. He was an accordion player from Shetland, and he played with the guy that wrote this tune. Willie Hunter was the guy that wrote this tune, a fiddle player from Shetland. And this guy was an accordionist. And I was surprised to learn that he had written one of the tunes that I was teaching to a student. It's funny, like, you know, it would have been like 70s, something like that. And I guess they all kind of hung around together. All right, so this shouldn't be too hard to put together, except for that last one. And we'll have to remind, you know what, we should work backwards through it. That's the best thing to do. So we'll start with the Cape Breton visit to Shetland. Okay? We're going to go slow. Like that. Nice and easy. Get us back into that tune. It's a bugger. There we go. I'm going to put my tuner on to keep us honest. Okay, I'll give us a good count in. One, two, three. Again. Here we go. Woo! Fancy ending. Now, how's everybody getting along with Cape Breton's Welcome? Especially the people that didn't learn it with us. Yeah, is it okay? Everybody okay at that speed? Okay, let's speed her up a little tiny bit then. Just a littlest bit. Like that. That's the sound of teenagers in my house. They're plotting and commiserating in the other room. Okay, here we go. Little faster. 1, 2, 3. Now that looked very cheerful for everybody, for the most part. Okay? You know, me and my brother did this thing once when we did this tune, and he started at the bottom of the scale, like that, and I went from the top. middle and then ended at different octaves. Kind of cool. Maybe we'll try that sometime. Okay, Andoin at the bow. Actually, let's do Willa Fjord and Andoin at the bow because they're short little tunes. Okay? So we'll do Willa Fjord. Oh, hello.
You know where my beads are?
It's up on your shelf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. That's a soon-to-be teenager. And she's beating. Oh, and that's a cat who wants to get out. Yes. Goodbye, Tibbs. Okay. Sorry about that. Nice and easy. Not fast for the people that are unfamiliar. Little bit of a syncopation in Wheel of Fjord. And if you can't do the syncopation, just play the 2 A's. It'll come out exactly the same. Okay? Let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. Again. Now that I am doing at the bow, that was a little unfamiliar, eh? I really like it. It's a great tune, but it's a little bit odd, definitely. And I saw some people having trouble with that one. Let's try that one a little bit slower, just on its own. The Wheel of Fjord looked like it went fine, but let's try Andoin at the bow, not the bow. A little bit slower. It was Peter McDougall that pointed out, because I thought it was Andoin at the bow, like he was playing the fiddle, you know what I mean? But it was Peter McDougall that pointed out, no, Dan, he's in the bow of the boat. Andoin at the bow. And it would be Peter McDougall to point that out, wouldn't it? I used to ask him how the barnacle scraping was going. He loved that stuff. Okay, nice and easy now. Andoin at the bow. 1, 2, 3. Faster. Jeez, it's a slick little tune. I really like that tune. All right, now we'll back her up. Any problems or questions with those reels, guys? Anything that's pressing that's making you furrow your brow or anything like that? No? That's great. So now, Earthy Castle. Great tune. Not that hard, but let's take her nice and easy. Remind ourselves what it goes like. It's in the key of D. It's got like a descending thing happening. And the rhythm is pretty straightforward. Lovely tune. All right, let's give it a go. One, two, three. Oh yeah. Great tune. How's everybody feeling about that? Is it coming back? Yeah, that's good. Not too hard, really. Okay, and then Miss Rowan Davies. And I think there was a harmony for Miss Rowan Davies. I think. Not positive, can't remember. But let's give it a go anyway. Let's play it twice. And let's see about a tempo. Like that. Okay. A little drink of water here. Okay. This is a great tune. Me and the boys played it on the weekend, actually. We played a great gig at a venue I highly recommend that I've never been to before. Well, I have been there before, but I never played there before. It's called Drom Taberna. Dromtaberma. Drom Taberna. And it's a Czechoslovakian place. But it's like a bar / restaurant, but loads of music. So we played from 6 until 8. After us, we stuck around for the rest of the night. After us was a 4-piece flamenco band, 2 dancers and singers, and a guy playing the guitar and the cajon, and another guy playing the cajon. Beautiful singing, my God, and great castanet playing. It was just unbelievable, actually. And after that was a 9-piece calypso band with horns and percussion and lots of singing. And so I was just shocked by how much music was going through there. And that wasn't even the late show. We're going to play there again because our set, even though it was all strangers, we didn't know anybody there, younger crowd, they loved it. And we sold 2 records. So we're definitely going to be back, but I highly recommend the place. Like, me and Brian were just blown away by the quality of what's going on in there. Very, very nice. But we played this tune, and they loved it. Gotta love Phil Cunningham. Okay, let's give her a go. All right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Again, more feeling. God, that's a gorgeous tune, isn't it? Jeez. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, and they loved it. The kids loved it.
My glass eye is crying.
Yeah, what's that?
I said, my glass eye is crying.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Almost came slipping out of your head, did it? Okay, stretch out your shoulders, and we're going to try the whole set. Alrighty. We've been playing hard today. Straight, that's the thing about Zoom. There's no chit-chat. We just get straight to the tunes all the time, which is good, but it's hard on the arm. All right, so I guess we're just doing 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Let's see, 2 Rowan Davies, definitely. 2 Eric Arethes. And then, yeah, just 2 of everything else. It's a long set. One of these long Scottish sets. And I guess, you got to fill in a lot of time on those cold Scottish islands.
On my copy, it's Arthur Castle's only 1. So it was 2, and they switched it to 1. But
oh, let's keep it at 1. That's good. I must have had some sense. It's fine, actually, because it's a pretty repetitive tune, so I think once is fine. So 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. All right. Oh. All right, well, let's give it a try. I was trying to think of any other exciting things that happened on the weekend, but not really much, except the kids gave me a 50th birthday party on Sunday, which was really nice. Sylvia made this cake that had gold flake on it, which is pretty cool. And Jennifer, for my 50th birthday, got me a 2-night getaway at what's called a beer spa. I didn't even know there was such a thing. It's apparently a Scandinavian thing. So we're going to go sit in hot tubs and drink beer for 2 nights with just the 2 of us, no kids. I don't know what's going to happen with them. But anyway, yeah. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's give it a go. I've distracted you enough. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. go. Here we go. Sorry. Hooray! The crowd went wild. All right, so we got some work to do on that set for sure. And like I said, it's a blast from the past, so I have to kind of bring it back up to the prefrontal cortex or whatever it is that they're talking about these days on the radio with the phones and the kids and everything. And so we'll have to do that. We'll use music to get over that. Now, let me just look at the calendar to make sure we're back in the church next week, which I'm pretty sure we are, but I'll tell you if we're in the choir room or not. So they had a few things where they had to go to the choir room for a while. Oh, whoops. So let's see. Okay, so we're back in the choir room next week there, guys. Yeah, back in the choir room next week. But we're at St. Jude's, okay? And we will keep working on more stuff for the June concert. And we'll try to get a little bit stronger. All right, you worked very hard tonight. Thank you very much. And we'll see you at St. Jude's. And sorry again for the late notice. Sorry about that. My own fault. Oh, totally my fault. Anyway, back to abnormal next week, guys. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Now you're a busy man.